News. ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
And we're following breaking news tonight. Dozens of vendors told they have to leave a Chicago discount mall. We just heard from their supporters about the next steps. Also on this hour of Eyewitness News, the search for a missing sailor called off for the night, what we're learning from investigators. And Bernie Sanders is throwing his support behind one of the candidates for Chicago mayor.
And the city of Chicago shows off its newly named plows just before snow is set to arrive here in the Chicago area.
Later tonight, it won't feel like spring in Chicago, but we're already jumping to summer. The city fighting for the title of best summer travel destination, and you put our city in the lead. We made it to Friday. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Rob Elgas.
And I'm Liz Nagy. We begin tonight with snow that will move in overnight. Some areas could see several inches.
That sunset is all right, though. Meteorologist Cheryl Scott joins us with the ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. Cheryl, depending on where you are, people are going to get some snow.
Yeah, it really is location dependent, with rain switching over to heavy wet snow in some locations overnight. Satellite and radar beginning to pick up on the rain. That's along and south of I-80 right now from Will over towards LaSalle, but a lot more moisture here to be had as we head into the rest of the evening. You can see very heavy rain downstate. A lot of this moisture continuing to lift to the north, and it's going to collide with much colder air as temperatures drop overnight, and that's where we'll see a transition over to heavy wet snow. Where we have the winter storm warnings, especially Lake and McHenry, very close to the state line, a narrow zone of accumulating snow 3 to 6 inches, not out of the question. Winter weather advisory zone from northern Cook over towards DeKalb. Slushy wet snow here, up to 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. There will be a sharp cutoff on who sees the highest amount of snow to basically no snow at all. And that really has been a theme with our storm systems for the past month to 2 months. So Futurecast showing that rain overspreading the region tonight, mainly all rain into the early morning hours. By about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning is when that heavy wet band of snow sets up, and then it begins to overtake northern Illinois and northwest Indiana as temperatures drop. It's going to take a bit for that snow to accumulate, guys. It's been mild out there. Pavement, it also warm. So wet, slushy road conditions can be expected tomorrow morning. Back to you.
All right. We'll check in with you for the rest of the forecast in just a little bit, Cheryl. Thank you. We're following this breaking news. Dozens of vendors at the Little Village Discount Mall have to move out. We just heard from an alderman after this decision from a Cook County judge.
Our Trey Ward is following this story for us tonight. He's live on the southwest side with what's developing in this legal fight right now. Trey, what can you tell us?
And Alderman Byron Sigtra Lopez announcing tonight that a new agreement has been reached with the new management to keep the vendors there at least until Tuesday while they work to find them a new location. Chopper 7 HD was above Discount Mall this afternoon as about 40 vendors were packing their belongings into U-Haul trucks. Alderman Sigtra Lopez saying during this extension, the city will work to negotiate with the new management, Novak Construction, for an easier transition to a new location for vendors. Right now, the city is eyeing a location at 26th and Pulaski and another location that Alderman Sigtra Lopez says he couldn't disclose as negotiations are still ongoing. Today, a Cook County judge denying an emergency injunction filed by attorneys representing vendors at the Little Village Shopping Center to prevent them from being locked out come Sunday. Some vendors tell me they're now left in limbo on what to do next.
Heartbroken, of course. You know, we've been here for 30 years. We were hoping for that extension to keep going, to keep working, and now everything is set us back.
We're hopeful that in the next few days, until the 28th, that we can reach an agreement with Novak Construction and the city to have a new location where we can, and the vendors will relocate in a dignified way.
And you guys just heard him, Alderman Lopez, saying that he's hoping to reach an agreement to keep the vendors there for the next 10 weeks while they easily transition to their new location. For now, reporting live, I'm Trey Ward, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Trey, thank you for that update tonight live. The search for a missing Great Lakes Naval Station recruit Seamus Gray has ended for the day with no signs of the 21-year-old. U.S. Navy personnel joined today's effort searching from downtown Waukegan to the Great Lakes Naval Base. John Garcia reports from Waukegan tonight.
Police say they have thoroughly searched the ground from here in downtown Waukegan all the way 2.5 miles to the Great Lakes Base in North Chicago, and they have not found any evidence of Seamus Gray. And because of that, at this point, they say they are calling a halt to the search until they get more evidence to pursue.
Right now, I just want to pray for Seamus.
At St. Patrick's Church, where Seamus Gray and his family attend, in his hometown of Jupiter, Florida, a small group gathers for a vigil as friends and family from 1,600 miles away from Chicago pray.
When you feel so helpless, I look to a higher power. I can't find that boy right now, but maybe someone stronger than me can.
The largest group yet gathers early this morning to search for Seamus Gray. It includes law enforcement, volunteers, and about 100 fellow sailors. The only area they know to look is from the last place he was seen, this bar in downtown Waukegan. Security video also shows Gray walking through an alley behind the bar, presumably headed toward the Great Lakes base where he was stationed. They use a drone to search overhead, and the Coast Guard searches in the lake, all to no avail.
At this time, though, we just felt we've hit everything we can on land, in the air, and along the coast, and there's just nothing else we can do at this moment.
Gray's mother has been here from Florida, hoping to encourage those searching for her son and pleading for help.
We talk no less than 10 times a day. We are in contact with each other all the time.
While police have called off the search of this area for now, they're hoping someone may have seen Gray after he left downtown Waukegan and call with a tip they can follow up.
We're not going to stop our efforts in our investigation. Our investigation is definitely going to continue.
Police say they believe there's a chance that Seamus Gray could have wandered into Lake Michigan and possibly drowned. They say if that happened, it could be weeks before his body surfaces because the water temperature is so cold. In Waukegan, John Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Judge denied bail today for a mother from Lyons Township charged with starving her toddler son to death. Jamie Hanyon reportedly admitted she stopped caring for her 19-month-old son. A relative found him unresponsive in his crib last October. The medical examiner says the boy died from nutritional neglect. Hanyon's next court date is set for April 20th.
A gun goes off inside a backpack at a South suburban daycare. Thankfully, no one was hurt. It happened at Happy Days Child Development Center on East 162nd Street. That's in South suburban South Holland. Leah Hope spoke with concerned parents there.
Parents of children at a South Holland daycare center were informed by the daycare center staff that a gun discharged yesterday inside the center while children were present. A South Holland daycare center is closed today. The center's owner and director tell ABC 7 the staff is shaken by an incident yesterday afternoon. They say a 9-year-old student coming for after-school care set down his backpack and a gun inside the backpack went off. Fortunately, no one was hurt. We are told a staffer quickly moved the backpack away from the children and kept them safe and calm. A spokesperson for the village of South Holland tells us an investigation is underway related to an apparent unintentional discharge of a weapon at a facility located at 831 East 162nd Street, South Holland. Due to the involvement of a juvenile, further details cannot be released at this time. We have been able to confirm the child attended Greenwood Elementary School and had been picked up by the Happy Days daycare staff from the school. Today, administrators for the school shared information with parents saying, "We are aware of an incident that occurred at a local daycare involving a District 150 student. This matter is currently being investigated by the South Holland Police. Please know the safety of our students and staff is top priority in District 150. This parent of a Greenwood student who preferred to not use her name says she got a message from the school, but tells us she only learned a weapon was involved after talking with her child.
Just really shocked that they didn't let us know that it involved a weapon because that's really scary.
The daycare center is expected to reopen on Monday. The daycare center director declined an interview, but did share this comment. Their prayers are with the child involved and his family. In South Holland, Leah Hope, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Leah, thank you. The Denver Teachers Union led a rally at the Colorado State Capitol today calling for gun reform legislation. This event happened just days after 2 teachers were hurt in a shooting at a high school.
As an educator, as a parent, and as a community member, this has been a really difficult week, on top of many difficult weeks, months, and years. How often is your day interrupted by a frantic phone call or a text that asks, Are you okay? Are you safe?
Denver Public Schools canceled classes to allow students to process that shooting.
More than 100 organizations across Illinois are getting money to protect against security threats. That includes mosques, churches, synagogues, cultural centers, and health centers. Mark Rivera with some groups getting money to see how they plan to keep their communities safe.
It's a busy afternoon prayer at the Midwest Islamic Center in Schaumburg during the first Friday of Ramadan. And Center President Imran Khan says he is grateful.
It's a true I would say a concern for us that how we can secure the mosque at the best manner. And that's what this grant going to enable us.
The center is set to receive $400,000 of $20 million in state grant money dedicated to improving security at more than 100 cultural institutions and nonprofits that may be targets of security threats. That money has to be used for target hardening activities, which include purchasing and installing security equipment and hiring security personnel.
We can't afford a security guard all the time. And that's a dilemma. Should we send feed poor or hungry, or should we hire a security guard, right? There's always a balance there, right? And this grant is going to change that.
It can also be used for active shooter trainings, like this one seen in video of a secure community network training drill. The nonprofit provides training to thousands in the Jewish community. In Deerfield, Rabbi Adam Shalom says the grant application process alone
really highlighted for us the vulnerabilities that we had in this building and in our procedures.
His Kol Hadash humanistic congregation is set to receive more than $91,000 to improve security at their shared space with the Unitarian Church on Half Day Road. Some of these security improvements will be very obvious. For instance, the rabbi says they want to install concrete pylons all through the front area here to prevent cars from ramming through. Others are going to be more subtle.
This is where we have to evaluate what the real risks are, but also what we need to do to protect ourselves.
The most important response to fear and hate?
We can also fight back by living our lives and by not being afraid of who we are.
In Deerfield, Mark Rivera, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
A letter containing white powder was sent to the Manhattan District Attorney investigating former President Donald Trump. The letter was found in the mailroom of the building where a grand jury has been meeting to hear evidence in the former president's case. The powder was determined to be non-hazardous. District Attorney sent an email to staffers today thanking them for their strength and professionalism and telling them safety is a top priority.
The Chicago mayoral race is now attracting national political heavy hitters. Senator and two-time presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is coming to Chicago for a rally with Brandon Johnson. Paul Vallis is downplaying the significance of that event, but as political reporter Craig Wall tells us, the Sanders rally could really impact the race.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who came to Chicago last year for a rally for progressive congressional candidates, will be returning next Thursday for a Get Out the Vote rally with Brandon Johnson.
Anytime you get a popular national political figure like Bernie Sanders out for your campaign, it's a big plus. He's going to bring media attention, he's going to bring energy, he's going to bring credibility.
Sanders could motivate progressives along with young voters who are part of his base but who largely stayed home for the February election.
So a rally like this with the Bernie Sanders could help energize those voters and perhaps make the difference in the final result.
Today, Paul Vallis joined with Alderman Roberto Maldonado along with members of the Illinois Hispanic Chamber of Commerce who endorsed him in the race for mayor.
We need to support candidates that have a record and will continue to support local businesses and promote economic growth. Paul Vallis's opponent backs a number of new and expanded taxes on businesses and middle-class workers.
Vallis downplaying the significance of the Sanders rally.
I think these local endorsements are the important endorsements because these are individuals who know my record, and these are individuals who know the issues that are facing their constituents.
Brandon Johnson making numerous campaign stops, including at a home for seniors on the city's south side, earlier meeting with a Jewish council on the north side.
This is a reflection of what my candidacy has been about from the very beginning. I've said that I've literally gone into every single community of the city of Chicago. Our movement is multicultural, multi-generational.
Both campaigns continuing their efforts to reach as many voters across the city as they possibly can, knowing the outcome of this election could rest on their ability to motivate their base to get to the polls. Craig Wall, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
New immigration deal will allow the U.S. and Canada to turn away some asylum seekers. Currently, if someone crosses between the two countries, each country can send the person back, but only if they crossed at an official entry port. The problem for Canada is more people are entering from unofficial crossings, and the hope is the new deal will cut that down. President Biden was in Ottawa today to discuss the details.
The United States and Canada will work together to discourage unlawful border crossings and fully implement the updated Safe Third Country Agreement.
As part of the deal, Canada will also take in an additional 15,000 migrants over the next year.
A heads up for anyone planning to drive along the Mag Mile tonight. The city's transportation department is installing bus pads at bus stops along Michigan Avenue between Oak Street and Ohio. The bus pads are sections of reinforced concrete to help preserve the street from heavy traffic. The work is expected to be completed within 2 weeks. And prepare for more lane closures on the Kennedy Expressway. Some work was canceled earlier this week because of rain, but IDOT says the plan is still for 2 inbound lanes to be closed from Montrose all the way to Hubbard's Cave by the end of this week. It's the first phase of a major 3-year construction project. Crews will repair bridges while adding new signage and lights.
Shopping for clothes, shoes, and more, all for free.
Girls in the Hood and DTLR are teaming up for a closet giveaway today. Our Evelyn Holmes has more on their efforts to empower women and girls and build a better Chicago.
For Margaret Vaco, every little bit helps.
I'm not working. I'm a single mother of 3 children, 18, 14, and 13, so every little bit helps.
The Chicagoan is one of dozens shopping at today's Hood Closet. Formerly unhoused, Ayla Jacobs found a dress, a hoodie, and some pants.
And there's a lot of items that I was lacking at home.
It's the effort of the Girls in the Hood Foundation. Hood stands for Healthy, Optimistic, Outstanding, and Determined.
Although our organization programs are centered around girls, we do have a love for the community, and we're here to help the community. So this is just one of the things that we're doing.
Smith says her not-for-profit has been around for about 5 years and is open almost every day. It offered mobile services and pop-up events before moving in February into their new location on 71st Street in the city's Grand Crossing neighborhood.
You get to pick 3 items off of each rack, a pair of shoes and some personal hygiene items. You can even shop for your kids.
Everything is free. The clothing here is a mix of new and gently used. Nationwide lifestyle retailer DTLR supported the event by giving Closet Hood close to $10,000 worth of apparel, footwear, and cash donations.
We need to pay more attention to our black women. I mean, because you all make the world go.
The new community closet giveaway is every Friday and was started earlier this month. Supporters hope to open resource centers in Inglewood and on the West Side. They support their outreach through donations, fundraising, and selling their brand gear. In the meantime, Chaz Smith says she'll continue to help girls and women in the community.
It's important to make people feel like they're not forgotten.
Evelyn Holmes, ABC 7, Eyewitness News.
Love that. You can go shopping for a few, new items, job interview,
Right,
anything.
whether it's necessities or just a couple other things that you want, it's a good program. Y'all make the world go. He's right. Yeah. Plows on parade ahead tonight. The Chicago plows with some humorous names that only Chicagoans will get, and Chicagoans picked too.
And a local family whose roof was destroyed in a tornado was denied from insurance tonight. The I-Team has an update on their case.
First storms are rocking the South. The damage from confirmed tornadoes as millions could face more storms tonight.
Millions of people in the South could see tornadoes tonight. This drone video shows some of the damage in Parker County, Texas, where 2 EF1 tornadoes were reported earlier today. The National Weather Service said the maximum winds for both were up to 100 miles per hour.
And an update tonight on a Naperville couple who couldn't get their insurance company to pay for roof damage after an EF3 tornado here in 2021.
Our consumer investigative reporter Samantha Chapman shares an update on their case.
The couple said they needed thousands of dollars to replace their roof, but they say their insurance company, State Farm, told them the damage was closer to just $800. After battling the company for nearly a year, this couple tells me they finally got results.
June 20th, 2021. It was a storm that caught Naperville and surrounding communities off guard. An EF3 tornado touched down, ripping through neighborhoods and destroying homes.
Wind damage on one side of the house where shingles had been lifted and cracked.
Jacob and Elizabeth Newser told me their contractor assessed their roof and determined the whole thing needed to be replaced, a $17,000 bill. But they say their insurance company, State Farm, said there was only $800 worth of damage.
What is the purpose of having insurance if the one time that you need it, especially in 15 years of being a customer, the thousands and thousands of dollars that we've paid in premiums, that they can't cover our roof?
This couple was furious with State Farm, so they called the ABC7I team for help. In 2021, State Farm told me that when a claim is presented to State Farm, they thoroughly investigate the loss, adding that, quote, claim adjustments are determined by the facts of the loss and the result of the investigation. After the I-team got involved, State Farm called the couple and invited them to settle their claim in arbitration.
It was stressful, just the time off of work to arrange meetings and fight this battle for almost a year. It was exhausting.
At arbitration, the insurance company claimed that the roof damage was caused by other factors than the storm. The couple says they brought in evidence to show the damage was caused by the tornado. They say they even presented our I-team investigative report to help tell their story. In the end, the couple told me the judge sided with them. They received this check in the mail from State Farm for more than $15,000.
I was very thankful that Sam was on our side.
We went out to dinner that night and celebrated because we were like, finally.
Their roof fully replaced and another problem solved.
Now, we did reach out to State Farm for a comment on this resolution, but we did not hear back. The couple tells me they have since changed insurers, and they encourage all consumers to stand up for yourself if you're not getting what you paid for. Samantha Chapman, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
It took some time, but Sam got it done. Remember, Sam's on your side if you have a consumer problem. You want Sam to investigate, you can call the ABC7 I-team. The number's right there on your screen. It's easy to remember, 312-750-7TIP.
No tornadoes here tonight, but we are in for some kind of storm tomorrow morning.
Yeah, here's a live look outside Navy Pier. The city looks beautiful from here.
Yeah, sure does.
I think down in the city, Cheryl's been saying maybe not too bad, but you get up toward the Wisconsin border, they might need those plows we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Let's get the weekend forecast from Cheryl. How you doing?
Yes, we are heading into the weekend and talking about the threat of snow and heavy wet snow at that. So if you do see a lot of snow accumulate, which will be for those of you to the north closer to the state line, you're going to want to take your time if you have to shovel, because this is that heavy wet snow that could cause injury. Right now we sit at 41 degrees, still mild enough to support rain. We are quiet across much of the area, but radar beginning to pick up on that rainfall that's going to be spreading in, and it will overspread the area tonight and into the early morning hours. Now tomorrow morning between about 4 and 8 a.m. we'll start to see a transition from rain over to heavy wet snow. A narrow band of intense snowfall rates will be setting up across our northern counties, and this is where we could see 3 to 6 plus inches of snow, mainly on grassy surfaces, untreated surfaces, but also reduced visibility and slushy slick travel around the area tomorrow morning. Live Doppler 7 Max right now painting that rain activity spreading in from the south right along I-80. So Will, Joliet over towards Morris and LaSalle getting in on rainfall. You can see the showers lifting up from the south will continue to overspread, a lot of moisture to work with here across parts of southern Illinois with an area of low pressure that's slowly moving off to the north and east. And there's also a severe weather side to this as well. You can see that tornado watch box down to the south from Tennessee into Mississippi back towards Arkansas. This low will be the cause or the reason why we're going to see the area of low pressure moving in, bringing us the rain. And there you can see the transition over to heavy, wet, accumulating snowfall across parts of our region. And tomorrow morning it's just going to be a messy, slushy go. We do have a few winter alerts to talk about, and it's really that winter warning storm zone that we're looking for the highest accumulations of snowfall. This goes into effect at 4 a.m., remains in effect until 1 p.m. Winter weather advisory for northern Cook back towards DeKalb, where we're also looking for some slushy, wet, accumulating snow to be falling, and it's going to come down very heavy and very quickly. So that's going to reduce visibility. Obviously, our temperatures are above freezing right now. It's going to take a lot for this to stick and also accumulate, but for a lot of treated surfaces, roads, highways, it's just going to be wet, slushy, and sloppy. So futurecasts, as we zoom in here, that rain coming in overnight, periods and pockets of heavier rainfall, and then between about 4 and 8 a.m., that band of snow starts up across our counties to the north and west, Lake McHenry over towards DeKalb. Notice our temps dropping to 32 degrees. So the system is colliding with colder air as our temperatures drop, allowing for the transition over to snow. Winds out of the northeast and the north, and then we'll start to see a changeover to some wet, slushy snow here across the region throughout the morning into the afternoon. But where the snow accumulates is where that band initially sets up and keeps itself going for a few hours, and that does look to happen north of I-90, so Lake McHenry across the state line, 3 to 6 inches. Then a little bit farther to the south, the potential for 1 to 3. So that's north of Chicago, northwest suburbs, and then just a slushy coating to near no accumulating snow along and south of I-88. So the system, again, it's all about where you live. It's going to be a messy mix, and we will start to dry out Saturday afternoon into early Sunday. Sunday, a few isolated showers, temps doing a little bit better. Some raindrops on Monday. We get you some sunshine middle of next week, but staying cool with our temperatures below average in the 40s, guys.
We're the 50s, Cheryl.
I know. We need some warmer spring-like weather.
60s.
Oh,
I'm getting greedy here, but
And it may be next weekend. No? Maybe?
We're going into the weekend with a temperature close to 50 degrees. So that's better. That's something.
Okay.
Great and that's below average for next Friday. So.
All right. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Thank you. We'll see you again in a little bit. With snow heading into our area, you may see some new plows on the roads.
The city of Chicago unveiled its newly named plows, and our Christian Pico spoke to some of the people who helped come up with these punny names.
Going back to the glory years of 1985, Salter Payton.
It's a parade of Chicago creativity and ingenuity that's sure to give you a chuckle on some of the coldest winter days.
These snowplows are also very important to Chicago, and we've heard from a number of people over the past few years who thought they needed names.
Thousands of Chicagoans answered that call as part of the city's first ever You Name a Snowplow initiative.
City staff reviewed those responses, chose the top 50, and invited residents to vote for their top names.
And without further ado, the winning names: Jean-Baptiste Point du Shovel, Holy Plow, Sleet Home Chicago, Sears Plower, Salter Payton, Duh Plow, and Mrs. O'Leary's Plow.
I feel great. I'm a little cold.
Will Hager says it took him mere seconds to come up with Mrs. O'Leary's Plow, which received the most votes in the competition.
Yeah, I told my parents after I won, you know, most people are naming kids, I'm naming a snowplow, so.
Scott Robertson came up with the name Sleet Home Chicago and says he never thought he'd actually win.
I chose Sleet Home Chicago because, you know, I love the Blues Brothers movie, and, you know, we know that song's almost 100 years old, and it represents a lot of what the city's good for.
The city says it plans to host this competition again next year, and with more winter weather potentially expected this weekend, make sure you give the Sears Plower and Holy Plow plenty of room to work. On the west side, I'm Christian Picos, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
I love the story. I don't know why it's so funny.
It makes winter, I guess, a little more enjoyable. I don't know. We'd come up with some. I'm trying to think of some of the ones we came up with when we were talking about this contest. I think,
we showed
I think
the list.
Push It Real Good was the one Terrell was.
Greg, you've been dying to use that sound effect for You've been saving
You saved
That's
it.
a good one
Right
to use.
moment.
Right.
Yeah.
What is great in that story is the Chicagoans who picked. They're so serious. Like they have reasons. This is why I picked him. I love Walter Payton and the Bears. Or it's just there's history involved. I think it's hilarious.
Well, and also it is kind of cool that if people from out of town see them going around, they won't necessarily get it. It really is a very Chicago
kind of a Chicago thing, and they're going to do it again next year. And Judy and I were talking about this earlier. Like you might see a plow because you see a plow, and you're like, all right, you get around it, or especially in the dead of winter, you're miserable, and you might see it now and be like, hey, holy plow, this is funny. That's a name. Here we go. Is it going to crash again? One more sound effect.
There we go.
No, that's all I get. Get out the way. Coming up, Gwyneth Paltrow takes the stand as she's sued over a ski accident. That story's ahead. Plus,
we'll meet someone from the suburban Algonquin with dreams of being the next American Idol. A quick heads up for anyone heading downtown this weekend. There will be road closures for Sunday's Bank of America Shamrock Shuffle. Balbo is now closed from Columbus to DuSable Lakeshore Drive, and more closures go into effect tomorrow morning when there's a shorter 1-mile run to help participants get warmed up. The 8K run steps off from Grant Park at 8:30 Sunday morning.
This weekend, American Idol features a singer from the northwest suburbs hoping to impress the judges and move forward on the ABC show.
Kiera grew up performing at Chicago's Polish festivals and tells our Jose Sanders she's proud of her heritage and her talent.
Just throw away the booze and do it like you do.
Kyra is the daughter of Polish immigrants whose mom had a music school in Schaumburg, where she spent time each day. She's done the local circuit from sporting events to Lollapalooza and clubs. The 21-year-old is now ready for Idol.
Did you always know you wanted to go into show business?
Yes, I definitely always knew. I was in a band when I was 12. I played bass and sang, and I just remember the first time I was on stage, I was just like, I was 12 and I'm like, yep, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. So no matter what happens, I know that this is the only way. So it's always gonna be music.
We don't gotta worry about a thing.
So how did growing up here in the Midwest with immigrant parents shape who you are and your musical taste?
It's like the foundation of my life and my career. So it really shaped me, like who I am, and it's just so inspiring. And especially in Chicago, like there's a huge Polish community and population, and I always made these sacrifices, and I feel like it's gonna be worth it. At the time, it felt like the end of the world, like not going to my prom or not going to homecoming. But now looking back, I'm like, I'm so glad I did that, because it definitely shaped me to be who I am.
What's it like to walk into that room and see those judges that you've seen on TV all along?
Standing in front of judges that you've admired and listened to your whole life, like it's nerve-wracking. And also being around all the contestants, it's more inspiring than anything.
Don't keep on chasing. No time for
what do you want to say to all the fans and believers and people in your community who've been pushing you and supporting you and lifting you up throughout all your journey?
I'm just so thankful. I mean, it's crazy to think that when I was 12 performing in those like little Polish festivals or Polish concerts that I would be here and seeing the amount of people supporting me. I feel like I'm in a place now where I'm just like ready for it, and I'm excited for this new chapter and excited to see what it'll bring.
Jose Sanders, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Another Northwest suburban young lady, Grace Kinsler from Crystal Lake, not far from Algonquin, did really well.
Yeah.
It was a couple seasons ago.
Well, I'd vote for her. She's got a fantastic voice
Sounds
and
great.
very talented in terms of performance and everything. Good
Well,
for her.
you can vote, and you can see American Idol on ABC 7 this Sunday night. It's at 7 o'clock.
Homes that look like they belong in the Jetsons. We'll show you those in just a minute.
They really do. The UFO tiny-shaped homes that one developer hopes will be the future.
Plus, how visitors to London can experience a historic moment after King Charles III's coronation.
Actress Gwyneth Paltrow taking the stand today, insisting a 2016 ski accident at a Utah ski resort was not her fault. Paltrow claims Terry Sanderson smashed into her from behind with his two skis.
I couldn't see in the back of my head,
Sure.
but I felt a body press against my back.
And next week, Paltrow's team expected to call medical experts to the stand, along with ski instructors and her two children.
Scattered protests continue around France today over changes to the country's retirement age. Daylight today also showed the damage from Thursday's violent protests when hundreds of police officers and demonstrators were hurt during gatherings nationwide. They drew more than 1 million people. The protests followed French President Emmanuel Macron's decision to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. And the protests have now postponed King Charles III's trip to France. The king was set to make his first overseas visit as monarch and had been scheduled to arrive in France this Sunday. Protesters demanded the trip be canceled. French and British leaders both agreed to postpone the visit. King Charles is still set to visit Germany late next week. And despite that trip being canceled, a museum in Paris unveiled a new wax statue of King Charles III today. The life-size statue features the king wearing a traditional Scottish outfit. The statue joins wax models of the late Queen Elizabeth II, his mother, as well as French President Emmanuel Macron and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The artist who made the statue of the king also made one of President Joe Biden.
It's so weird.
It's kind of freaky watching them roll it out.
Reel him out, yeah. Look there.
Very true to life, though. Did you see those ones that came out maybe a month or so ago of Kate and William that were like completely botched and did not look like
Have you ever been to a wax museum?
I've not.
I have not either.
Yeah.
I kind of always wanted to go because over there, like sometimes they look exactly.
Well, that sure did.
That was him. And then we realized it wasn't him when they rolled him out, put him right next to his mom. People who visit London's iconic Westminster Abbey after the coronation of King Charles III will get to stand on the exact spot where he was crowned. That section of the church's floor is known as the Cosmati. Am I saying that right, Michelle? I think, okay. It was the pavement. For centuries, the chair in which Britain's monarchs are crowned has been placed there. So the floor has been hidden under carpet for decades, but it's been restored to its former glory on that pavement right there. There's a guy standing. Do you see what he's doing, though? So he's standing there without shoes because visitors must remove their shoes and wear clean socks with no holes.
I don't know how I feel about this. There's a reason that it's been covered up. Does everything have to be a tourist attraction?
You see that old, so there's the Queen. There's something historic about it, obviously, but you think, leave it alone.
Let it be special for just them.
Yeah, I'm not much of a royal.
This isn't
guy,
Old Faithful
cool.
here.
Yeah. The floor looks fascinating and amazing. Make sure to take your shoes off.
Yeah, apparently.
And I can't have holes in my socks, so I have to get a new pair. Here are some tiny houses that look out of this world. This Futuro house is being made in Ohio. Excellent song selection by Greg, our director.
I'm a little creeped out.
The uniquely designed tiny homes constructed of molded fiberglass composites. The end product just kind of looks like a UFO.
When you bring something to the industry that's innovative and solves problems, then you have a business that's going to thrive.
Since it's made out of fiberglass, the houses shouldn't rot, decay, mold, or rust. They really do look like something from the Jetsons.
Yeah, or outer space, yes.
Would you, it's kind of neat. I need some furnishings on the inside.
Yeah. I mean, it's very cool, I guess, if you're, I not my taste, but, you know, it's very cool. I feel like you get okay, that's freaky. I feel like you get a lot of people outside your home taking photos of that, being like, you know.
Yeah, that looks like wood, not fiberglass there, so. Oh, the inside is neat. I don't know how much are they, I wonder.
Too much.
Right.
Anyway, it's the first official weekend of spring, but we're already thinking about summer here in Chicago, the events you can look forward to next. And Cheryl, we can't get to summer without spring. Weather, of course, seems to be in no rush to get here.
Yeah, weather looking a whole lot more like winter. As we go into the night, rain continues to move in, but we're going to see a transition over to snow for the start of the weekend. We'll cover it coming up.
Lesnevich. Sounds good.
You shouldn't. We ready? Oh, okay. Hey, Chicago is nominated.
Got a little distracted.
It's Friday. Can we just start over?
Yeah, sure.
Take a different shot and then we're off and running? Okay, you go.
Chicago is nominated for 2 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards.
City is nominated for Best Summer Travel Destination, Best Outdoor Concert Series, and you can vote for this city to make the list. And Jason Lesnevich, the Director of Cultural Affairs for Choose Chicago, joins us tonight. It's a laid-back show, Jason.
Hey, Jason, thanks for being here.
Yeah, we just do it live. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Hey, we're thrilled you're with us. You got to tell us about these awards and what they mean to this great city.
Yeah, the USA Today, their Best Choice Awards. It's by their readers. So each category has 20 nominations. We are up for 2 of them. Best Summer Travel Destination. We're currently 5th out of 20. We all know we're the best summer travel destination, probably in the world, not only the U.S. So we need you to go out and vote at 10best.com to make us the best summer travel destination.
Jason, we're showing some images of Chicago in the summer as you've been talking just there, and makes me crave summer. It's coming eventually. So how has tourism here in Chicago rebounded since the pandemic? Because that was tough.
Yeah, the industry got hit hard, and we're starting to recover really well. Our numbers from 2022, although not pre-pandemic numbers, have really come back. And we don't have our full visitation number yet, but I think we're gonna, really get back close to 75% of where we were. Some of the hotel numbers have really recovered as well in terms of the economic impact that those taxes provide to the city. So really excited for 2023. It's going to be a great travel season here.
Well, Jason, besides NASCAR coming to the city of Chicago this summer, what else can people expect here?
I mean, right on the lakefront, if you want to do another sporting event, Sail GP, Pride Fest will be back in their parade. Every neighborhood has their signature event. Some of the downtown concert series and festivals like Blues Fest and Jazz Fest, Windy City Smokeout. There's so many great weekend events every single weekend throughout the summer, as you know. Fiesta del Sol in Pilsen and the Bud Billiken Parade in Bronzeville, just another great summer event. And of course, the other award winner, the Millennium Park Music Series, happens every Monday and Thursday, free music in Pritzker Pavilion. And so we want you to vote for them as well to win the Best Outdoor Concert Series award.
So I'm looking right now, 10best.com. I just voted. We're in 5th place.
Voting as we speak.
Oh, yeah. It took me like no time.
Who are we possibly up against here?
So Mackinac is on there, and we're in 5th. So Asheville, North Carolina, Door County, Wisconsin, Mystic, Connecticut, and Mackinac Island. I think we can.
So Jason, why are we better than all of them?
We can't lose there.
Yeah, right.
Tell the people
we
on
just
Chicago.
need to get the word out to vote.
Right,
and
we're doing
what
it.
we're doing. Yeah, Chicago we know is the best summer destination in the area and in the U.S. So, yes, please go on and vote. 10best.com.
Yep, I'm looking now. Are we in 1st in the summer concert series?
Not that I know of. Last time I looked, we were in 6th, so one spot below. And if you've ever been to a concert in Millennium Park, it's just a gorgeous atmosphere. When the sun goes down and the lights come on there at the pavilion, it's an amazing atmosphere to see a concert.
It really is one of the most unique spots with the skyline in the background. And a lot of those concerts are free. And you can just
take
go,
a picnic with
take a
you,
picnic, perhaps a bottle of wine, and just really enjoy it. All right, good luck. Thanks for getting the word out, Jason. We can do this. We got a little time.
Thank you. Yes, voting ends April 17th. Sorry. Had to get that in.
I'm glad you did. Yeah. Okay, so we got a couple weeks. We're going to get it done. Okay. Jason from Choose Chicago. Hey, our pleasure. Thanks for joining us live. We can vote as much as we want.
All right, we're going to get in there and do it. You should too.
Yeah, they may be the ultimate power couple, Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Ahead tonight, Beyonce's new couture collection and news on Jay-Z's growing net worth. Next.
Right. 11 minutes left in the show. Are you taking pictures of us? No. Okay.
We're getting silly here on Friday.
Friday. We're just getting started. You can now wear Beyonce's Renaissance album.
Beyonce announced the Renaissance Couture line on Instagram today. It's a 16-piece collection corresponding to the 16 tracks on the album. Beyonce's Balmain collection will be featured in the April edition of Vogue France.
I think you ladies could pull it off.
It looks good.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you could pull it off. You think you could pull that off? No?
I feel like anything beyond, it's like her world.
Right.
You can't touch it.
That's true. That's a fair point.
But, I mean, she looks amazing.
She does look amazing.
Yeah.
But she can do no wrong, so.
Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z, by the way, he's making some cash. His net worth is soaring. Forbes published a new report today saying Jay-Z is now worth $2.5 billion. He was the first hip-hop star to make the site's billionaire list back in 2019, thanks to his diversified assets. And the recent income surge is in part thanks to his champagne and cognac investments. I've not had either, but he does so much.
I was going to say, I can't keep up. I did not know he was dabbling in champagne and cognac, but why would he not be?
He
because
is
of course.
a brilliant investor and businessman.
Okay.
And he's married to Beyonce. I don't know that it gets much better than that, Wendy.
Well, I mean, when you have that much money, you truly can do anything.
You can't spend that much money.
You couldn't, right.
You can't go wrong.
Some don't invest so
that
well.
didn't work out. Let me try the next
Right,
thing.
that's true. There's no risk assessment involved.
Yeah.
Well, President Biden is adding NBA star Steph Curry and his wife, Aisha? Is that how you say her name? Aisha? To the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition today. The group promotes healthy eating and physical activity. Aisha Curry has written cookbooks in the past. The president also appointed several Olympians. The committee is chaired by celebrity chef Jose Andres and WNBA player Elena Del Don.
They got to get their kids in there, too. They are a trip. She's awesome. They're both really
Jose Andres talked about before the election how he wanted there to be a Secretary of Food. They wanted it to be a cabinet-level position.
He would be the guy,
Yep.
right? And he does
Absolutely.
so much for so many people. That dude is the real.
World Central Kitchen's amazing.
Have you all ever seen Keanu's John Wick movies? I've never, and they're supposed
You
to.
haven't seen them?
I'm not. Oh, so you have?
Not intentionally.
Coming from the one that doesn't
I don't
watch
see
TV
anything.
I'm
But
stunned about
John
this.
John loves these movies. My husband loves these movies. So
I am totally shocked that you've seen. Was the first? I mean, they're great. They do really well.
he kills a dog with a pen or something like that. It's pretty amazing.
That I don't like. So John Wick's back for Chapter 4. The film earned $8.9 million in previews last night, just in its preview night. That puts it on track to surpass the earnings of the 3 other films in the franchise. John Wick Chapter 4 expected to earn between $65 and $70 million. It's a rare franchise where each sequel has substantially earned more its opening weekend than the previous film.
Well,
So
Keanu Reeves needed more money, so, you know.
You're going to see this, so you got to let us know. It doesn't sound like you have a choice.
I probably will see
Probably this weekend.
Yeah.
It might be a good.
You really haven't seen any of them?
No.
I'm surprised. I think you would like them.
And I like that kind of action adventure stuff, and I just have never watched.
Well, it's gonna be a gross day tomorrow, so stay at home and watch all 3.
Pretty good way to
Need
describe
all of the
it.
options.
But down here in the city, it may be more rain than snow, right?
Yeah, so it will be really all rain overnight, but early tomorrow we'll start to see a switch over to snow. I do think we'll see some snow falling here, but the outside temperatures have been so mild. The lake temperature's at 40, so to get snow to start sticking in the city, it takes a lot, but a nice little batch of quick, heavy snow will accumulate on some grassy surfaces. Outside right now, 40 degrees. We're still quiet in the city, but we do have an AccuWeather alert for tonight and into the day tomorrow. Saturday morning, here we go. Rain into the overnight hours. A narrow band of intense snowfall rates expected for our northern counties. A swath of 3 to 6+ inches of snow possible, which will reduce visibility, and some slushy, slick travel can be expected into the day tomorrow. So live Doppler 7 Max right now painting that rain here along and south of I-80. We do have dry conditions up to the north, but as the system continues to lift in, it will spread that moisture. So rain overspreading the area. It's going to collide with some cooler temperatures as we head into the overnight hours with a severe weather threat off to the south. This area of low pressure, as we put it into motion, starting off as rain, there's that swath of blue. So we are going to see that changeover and that transition over to snow in our area. So that's going to allow for some accumulations on untreated surfaces, and we do have a winter storm warning. Our pink zone here, Lake McHenry, up across the state line, goes into effect at 4 a.m. and will remain in effect until 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So that will be the time frame very early tomorrow. Anyone with travel plans, it's going to start to get really messy, slick and slushy. Here's that rain snow line tomorrow morning at between about 5 and 8 is when that band of snow will be setting up here. Northern Cook County, Lake McHenry across the state line. This will accumulate again on treated surfaces, grassy surfaces, and then everyone that was seeing rain, especially to the south, will see a quick burst of some snow, wet snow falling tomorrow late morning and into the early afternoon. Temperatures quickly climbing to 40. So what does fall and accumulate will be melting as we go throughout the day, where we just see those small totals. But as we look at our snow total map, we can anticipate here anywhere from about 3 to 6 inches where that band of snow sets up across our northern counties, Lake McHenry into southeast Wisconsin. 1 to 3 inches for areas like northern Cook back towards DeKalb, and then just some slushy coatings as we look at Chicago off to the south. And our snowcast in terms of models indicating that potential of the snow, and you can see it showing that swath of heavy snow well up to the north of us. Rain also up to 1 inch, not out of the question. We're going to look for that rain coming to an end as we go into tomorrow morning, but that's why we do have the AccuWeather alert for tonight across the area. Temperatures in the 30s, mostly rain transitioning over to snow. Temperatures climbing into the 40s for Sunday into early next week. We'll see those temperatures staying below average with some sunshine for the middle of the week. Liz?
Thanks, Cheryl.
See sunshine, that's good.
That's
some
true.
blue
Sunshine
in there,
and
we'll
some maybe
take it.
some 50s. Look at this, bringing classical music to new audiences. The effort that brought a new live performance to Union Station today.
Amazing grace.
Oh, listen to that. Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli performing for people in Times Square yesterday. He serenaded fans to promote his film, The Journey, a music special from Andrea Bocelli. It opens April 2nd. I love his voice.
People at Chicago's Union Station were treated to this free concert featuring the music of Bach. This is part of a yearly event happening worldwide called Bach in the Subways. All about bringing live classical music to a wider audience. Musicians volunteered their time. They volunteer and talents to share the music of Bach with audiences that might not otherwise get the opportunity.
Did you catch that in there? The conductor of the orchestra is wearing a conductor's hat because he's in Union Station.
That'd be neat to see. You're just trying to get home on a
Very
Friday.
cute.
There you go. You're both sticking around for 10, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, hope you can join us.